Hi there. You ever seen a project on Instagram or Snapchat or even YouTube and think, I can 100% do that? Until you remember that you have absolutely no sewing skills whatsoever to handle it? It's totally fine. We all have to start somewhere. And today, I'm going to help teach you. My name is Samantha Voglio, and here are some simple sews. Today, let's see what it takes to make a mole. So, first off, you're going to want to find a pattern. I found this one on Pinterest. It might take a little bit of maneuvering, but I was able to transfer it onto certain paper, and I was able to make my own little template, like so. So I actually took an art class last semester, and I have a ton of supplies left over, so I was able to use that for this project, which I love being able to do. It was a lot of money. I really did not realistically see myself being able to use it, but you never know what comes in the future. Sometimes things just pop up, and you have the oddest items that work for it sometimes. So here I am. I'm tracing out the template onto the paper, and if you see me having a little bit of difficulty, I'm trying to use my tablet to trace, and so it notices that, I'm touching the tablet, but there's a piece of paper in between, so I'm going back and forth trying to pull up the picture again versus trying to be able to trace it. Now, what I found to be the easiest solution to this is just go slowly, have very quick little sketches, and then be able to darken it later when you can move the tablet out of the way. That is the solution I found, and I hope that it works for you too. By the way, if you ever see me looking off camera at someone, I'm not talking to myself, I promise. I actually got one of my friends to help me out with filming, and she was a very big help. She is, she was able to get all of the fun little angles from the first day, so shout out to Kathy. Thank you very much. So now that all of your tracing is done, it's time to cut it out. Now, for delicate lines like the curves, I tend to just cut out the big bulks first, and then I go in with the tiny details later. That's just how it works for me. And you're going to want to get your templates to look something like this. Next up is finding the right material. I think I have one or two choices that could work, maybe. So for this pattern, I decided on this cute little blue flannel. Until I realized that it was going to be one of the bigger mistakes of this project. In all reality, I'd wanted to get an earlier start than I did, but things just get in the way sometimes, So here I was sitting on the ground trying to seam rip this pant leg for about 3.5 hours before I just gave up and switched to a pair of jeans instead. And would you look at that, a beautiful seam-ripped pant leg that took about less than a half hour. I'd say that was a much better choice. So now I'm getting into tracing, and if it looks like I'm going a little fast, it's because I sped up the video, because I wanted to show you it all, but it was kind of long, so I thought that this was the best solution. Now, when you're tracing, you want to make sure that you have enough material for your whole project. So this kind of worked perfectly because the pant leg literally spread into a third for each section, which just worked so well. So here are some of the supplies that I will be using for this project. We've got all of the different sewing needles that you could possibly think of, and I'm going to be using a brown thread on this. So, to make sewing easier, I decided to pin the sides together. Make sure that the sides that you want showing on the finished project are facing inside. Before we get to sewing, we're going to have to thread the needle. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to use this little red tool and put it through the hole in the pin. That way, we can put the thread through that and we can pull it through. And that is an easy way on how to thread the needle. After that, you're going to want to find the end of your string. It might get a little tangled depending on how long of a string you're using. But when you finally do that, you're going to want to wrap the end of the thread around your finger a few times and then just kind of roll it off. That way it'll kind of form a knot in and of itself, and it's going to be pretty tight. You want to make sure that it's as tight as it can go because you don't want it to slip off. And now, it's sewing time, baby! Here is what you want a finished line to look like. Now, repeat that on the other side, and when you're done with that, get started on the top. Here's how it's supposed to look when you're done sewing. Now, you're going to want to be able to flip that inside out. And now you're up to the fluffing stage. Now you can make your mole as, fluffy as you want, or maybe you don't want a lot of fluff. That's totally up to you. Now, did the transition get a little messed up? Maybe. But let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that at this point in the project, he kind of looks like a manatee. And now, everybody, time for our reveal. Isn't he so cute? I shall call him Denmole. Look at this little cutie patootie. Now, it may have not been the most easy of processes this weekend to make him, but look at that little face and tell me that it's totally not worth it. So cute. It's very easy to give up on projects that don't have the easiest of starts, but what's important is that you keep through and you keep on practicing. That's the only way that you're going to get better at it. I'm Samantha MacLeod, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!